All right, we're talking about the rates, ratios, and proportions. And the number one, the ratio of boys to girls is 3 to 5. Notice they have it as 3:5. We can also write it as a fraction, 3 boys over 5 girls. Now, we want to know when you have 12 boys, how many girls are in the class. So you're going to put 12 boys on top. Notice boys on top, girls are going on bottom. I've color-coded it for you. Now, one method of doing it, we could see that in order to get from 3 to 12, we would multiply by 4. Well, same thing on the bottom. If we do times 4 here, you'll notice 5 times 4 would make that 20 girls. Okay? Now, that's one method of solving it. There are other methods. Another method we could use would be to do cross multiplication. And when you do cross multiplication, you simply do this. You're going to do 3 boys times x. So we can write that as x times 3 boys equals, and then we do the other way. 5 girls times 12 boys. So 5 times 12 is going to be 60. And I'm going to abbreviate. I'm going to write BG for boys, girls, because I'm going to run out of room. Now, you got to notice we're going to solve for x here. So it's x times 3 boys. So we want to divide by 3 boys on both sides. So I'm going to put the B for boys. Now this side cancels out. You're left with x equals. You're going to notice that 3 goes into 60 20 times. So I'm going to write down the 20. And then the boys cancel out, leaving the variable of G for girls. And we have 20 girls whenever we have 12 boys. Now, let's take a look at the unit rate. That's this right here. When we talk about the unit rate, you want your denominator to turn into 1. So you're going to create the ratio, and then you're going to divide. For instance, an ostrich can run 174 feet in 3 seconds. Well, we would put that feet over seconds, so it's going to be 174. Go ahead and put your unit of measurement. You have to put that over 3 seconds. Now we want to get that to 1 second. Now remember, what we're going to do is we're going to divide 174 divided by 3. So I'm going to come over here and do that. So 174 divided by 3. 3 goes into 17 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. Subtract, you bring down your 2, bring down your 4. 3 goes into 24 8 times. So that counts out to 0. So it goes 58. So we're going to put that 58 up here. And remember, put your feet. So that means an ostrich can run 58 feet every second. So remember, you're dividing by 3. You divide by the denominator in order to get the unit rate. I want you to try, so I'm going to go ahead and erase that now. Now, I want you to try this one, $6.30 to mail a 6-pound package. And I also want you to try Eric Reed's 150 pages in 1 hour. But remember, on this one, I want you to convert it to minutes. So I want to know, if he does 150 pages in 1 hour, how many pages is that per minute? Okay, down here on the bottom, we're going to solve each proportion. All right, and then I want you to write a statement on how to solve that variable. So notice the variable I have in this one is y. So I have y over 8 is equal to 2 over 4. Well, since y is in the numerator, only thing I have to do to solve it is to multiply 8 on both sides. So if I multiply 8 on both sides, that cancels that out. I'm left with y equals, now I'm going to multiply straight across. So 2 times 8 is 16 divided by 4, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. So in this case, I want you to write a statement on each one of your steps. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. So that's my first step. Second step, multiply 2 times 8, which equals 16. Third step, I'm going to reduce 16 over 4 and make that equal to 4. That's what I want you to do for the second and third problem. Now here's problem number 2. I'm going to help you out a little bit. I'm going to do the steps for you, but you have to write the statement. So here's step number 1. I got to get that x by itself. So, notice my first step. Here's my second step. So notice I basically had step number 1, step number 2, and then finally my last step was step number 3. So tell me, oops, sorry about that. I want you to write a statement for step number 1, a statement for step number 2, and a statement for step number 3. And then you're going to do that same thing for the last problem, that last one right there. So I've already done this one for you. You just got to give me the 3 steps, and you do this one as well. Okay, on the back side of your paper, you've got 3 more problems at the top. Notice you want to solve for t, b. Now on this one, I want you to look. X is tied up with the x plus 1. So, again, I'm going to circle the variable, or the part that has the variable. Alright, so I want to get rid of I want to get that by itself. Notice that means I have to get rid of the 6. How do you get rid of the 6? Multiply both sides by 6. That cancels the 6 out. You're left with x plus 1 equals. Now, you have to multiply 1/3 times 6. So if you multiply straight across, you end up getting 6 over 3, which reduces down to 2. Now if you notice x plus 1, I can now subtract 1 on both sides, and x is going to equal 1. And remember, you can go back and double check your work. Okay, now look at the last 2 problems. You have a model car, and then you have a map. We're going to do the model car first. So on the model car, the scale of the model to the actual car. So it's telling you that little word 2 is your ratio. So model to actual. So again, remember we talked about 1 to 10. It's the same as 1 over 10. Now in this case, the length of the model car is 15 inches. So what they're referring to is, for every 1 inch of the model, you're going to get 10 inches of the actual. So if we go ahead and write down the length of the model car, which is 15 inches, we can actually find out how long the actual car is. So notice, again, how do I get from 1 to 15? Well, we multiply by 15. If we do it the same way here, if we multiply by 15, 10 times 15 is 150 inches. Now think about that. Is that reasonable? Well, if you know that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot, well, how far is 150 inches? Well, think about that. If you are 6 feet tall, that's 72 inches. If I multiply 12 inches by 10, that means 10 feet tall is 120 inches. So think about that. 120 inches is 10 feet tall. Okay? Now, we also know that 12 times 12 is 144. So if I multiply 12 inches by 12 feet, that's 144 inches. Now think about it. We have 150 inches on the actual car. So notice that's only 6 inches more than 12 feet. So I could say that this is 12 feet. Let me go ahead and rewrite that. 12 feet, 6 inches. So is that reasonable for a car to be 12 feet 6 inches? I believe so. Now, using the same word ratio, I want you to try the same thing with the map down here. All right? So you're going to do the distance between Jacksonville, Florida and Tallahassee is about 8 inches. Now, according to the scale, it's 1 inch represents 20 miles. So 1 to 20. So 1 inch to 20 miles. Let's see if you can do it yourself.